Hey guys, welcome to Deer Creek Audio, or my home studio. Come on in, make yourself comfortable as always. And what I'd like to talk about is being well-rounded. And in this Christmas season, I'm not talking about Santa Claus or myself actually here, but I'm talking about being well-rounded as a musician. I think being a musician nowadays has really changed over the years. In other words, just being a musician 30 or 40 years ago, if you're good on your instrument, that potentially was enough. But I think nowadays, to really be called a good musician, I think there's some other things that are important that I think you need to have in your bag of abilities and what you can do. One of them is a home studio. Now, every musician doesn't need to have a home studio, but you would be amazed at the number of musicians that I know nowadays that don't have the abilities just to make a simple MP3 file of decent quality and then email it. And to me, I think if you cannot do that, that's a modern day way of being able to communicate your music to other people, to get it uploaded onto the internet. And if you can't do that sort of thing, you're really limited, especially in comparison to some of the really quality musicians that can do that. Now, I'm assuming that a lot of people watching these videos, you're looking for tips and such, and you may think, well, that's just such a basic level, but again, you'd be really surprised at how many people cannot do that. I think also in the days 30, 40 years ago, making a demo tape was much more of an effort. You really needed to go into a professional recording studio, and that may be true today, but I'm of the belief that if you've got a computer, you've got basically a pretty decent home studio that you can set up and go ahead and do your tracking and make a good demo. As you can see, I've got a Modus set up here. It's in my home, but it really can serve me good. I'm not competing with a professional studio, so I'm using this for my home demos, and I'm using this for songwriting, and I'm using it for being able to communicate with other musicians. I can make MP3 files. I have uploaded things. I've made a lot of CDs here, so it's worked out very well. And that's something that nowadays, if you don't have the ability to do that, I think you're really lacking as a musician. Just being able to play your preferred instrument and calling it, that's all you need to do, I don't think that's enough. Now, there's some other things you can talk about as far as promotion and management, and I'm not going to really get into that because there's a zillion ways you can do that, and I don't claim to really know all the tricks. I'm not really promoting myself for one thing, so I don't want to say that this is what really works or doesn't work, because quite frankly, I don't have the knowledge to make that, to prove that point. But I think there's a lot of things as far as that you would want to consider. How would you want to get exposure? Do you want to go ahead and make videos for YouTube? Making a video isn't really tough, but surprisingly, a lot of people will ask, what camera should I use? How do I get good audio? And I think it is important to go ahead and make a quality product. If you've noticed, as you scan around on YouTube, if you're like me, if you come across a video that looks promising and you'd really like to watch it, but the audio is just horrible, I tend not to watch it. You're just suffering, especially some of the recorded music where the recording is just so distorted or it has so much room noise. It's almost, for me, I can't tolerate listening to music on that level. So I think it's important to be able to make a half-decent quality product in what you're doing. And if you're hearing growling in the background, that's my new coon hound here. He's quite a vocal guy, really lovable guy. Here's a picture of him. But at any rate, I think it's important to have a variety of abilities. Be able to feel comfortable in a home studio, whether it's just a little Porter studio or something, but beyond just setting a cassette player on the piano and just saying that's going to be my demo. I think you should learn at least how to multi-track, how to get your instruments into the computer, and be able to record a clean vocal take, whatever you're trying to do. And don't limit yourself to just one thing. Now, all that said, I think it's important that you do pick out a niche, and if you want to be a musician rather than an engineer, then I think you need to focus on that and work on your instrument or your vocal and make sure that that's the best it can be rather than just being a jack of all trades, because I think if you do refine your direction and what you're doing, that's extremely important, and so therefore you can excel in an area. But what I'm really talking about is being well-rounded as an overall concept and being able to do some of these things that I'm talking about, making those MP3s, making a quick demo that's of quality, being able to upload and make a video to YouTube, whatever. Those are just some of the thoughts that you might want to think about. I appreciate you guys sitting down and watching the video. We'll catch you in the next one, right? Catch you later, guys.